All right, guys, welcome back to another KevCAM night class tonight. I apologize for not being here for the last 2 weeks. I was out playing Farmer John, helping a buddy out. But tonight I have Andrew helping out with any questions or concerns that come up along the way. So definitely feel free to ask those. I'm sure there was going to be some, just because this is what we're kind of covering tonight is something completely new to the software at this point. So for those of you guys that don't have SolidCAM 17, you won't see this, but something new that they've added in there to we were kind of getting a lot of requests from customers for this, so we added that in there and kind of show you guys how it works. Let's see, I'm just kind of looking through the name list here. Well, I do see one newcomer in here, so I'll do the old ritual with the GoToMeeting here. Everybody is in mute right now, just to eliminate any background noise. If you guys do have questions, and definitely suggest you do, or ask those, there is a questions panel in the GoToWebinar control panel. Go ahead and type those in there, and Andrew will stop me in my tracks and get those questions answered for you guys right away. And completely laid back class, so definitely, don't hold your questions till the end. If you have something, speak it out, or type it out, I guess you'd say, and ask away. And then I know a lot of you guys have seen this already, but send your ideas over to me in an email. And because like I said, these classes are just for you guys. So anything that you guys want to see in the software, anything going forward that you would like to see being taught, send those over to me in email. And for those of you guys that don't have my email address, let me put that into the chat section for you so everybody can see it. There you go. And then every night class is recorded. We've been doing these recordings for quite a while, so if you guys go to YouTube and type in KevCAM or SolidCAM University, my ugly mug should pop up, and all our videos are all on here for you guys, all past videos. We also do short, quick little tip tricks video in here also, so definitely great place to come and, put your input in here. And if you guys do have suggestions in here too on the video, or have a question on the video, and these are more for the people that are watching on YouTube right now, send those over to me in email. I get a lot of comments. My little bell up here is constantly ringing away with people commenting on it. So send those over to me in email, and I'll get those answered for you guys right away, or pointed in the right direction. And for those of you guys that want the direct link for the YouTube channel, I will put that in the chat also for you. But I guess with that being said, we will get the ball rolling tonight. Tonight is going to be a pretty short class, just because there's a lot there, but not a whole lot to kind of talk about. They've really simplified and made things a lot easier. So we'll get going here, and we are going to be covering screw machining tonight. Now with screw machining, it's kind of like the what Ken covered last week in the rotary machining, kind of the same principle, but it kind of takes the guesswork out for you. So what it's doing is it's looking at your target, and it's looking at your stock, and kind of does the automatic gouge check for you. So it's a real nice feature, and it's just kind of specifically just for, kind of doing an auger or a screw like we're seeing right here. Now, this part right here is fairly large. I think I measured it out. It was like 17 inches long here. So instead of making you guys wait through the saving calculation time, I've already got some toolpath on here for you. So, and then with screw machining, like I said, it generates, a 4-axis rotary roughing and finishing toolpath. So you guys can use this for, a one-stop shop instead of having to do simultaneous, milling. Now, 3 different kinds of tools are supported currently by the screw machining. Currently, are supported is the bull nose, ball nose, and then a regular flat end mill. They are going to be implementing, lollipop cutters in here, the barrel cutters in here, and a couple other cutters to make your guys' life easier. And like I said, we're just kind of getting the ball rolling on this. So some of the fields are still grayed out, but they will be shortly over time ungrayed out. So, all right, I do see, let's see, Dwight.
We got a question.
Yeah, we have version 13 and using Solid. We just upgraded 17 this week and curious if you know the latest update will work. Yes, Dwight, it will work with your 17 will work with your 2012. Anything, or should. Not 100% guaranteed it's gonna, but it should. SolidWorks did change the kernel in 2011, so we can't work with anything that's 2011 or older with 17, but it should work for yours. But Dwight, if you do have questions on that, send me an email, and I can help you out to that too. And then along with screw machining, what about cam machining? George, it's coming. That's actually being implemented in also. So kind of specifically designed, I guess, George, you're talking like cam for like a motor cam, correct? Perfect. Yep. It's coming, George. So for those, what George is asking is like a camshaft for a car or a truck or and whatnot there. So that is coming with the separate lobes and being able to do that. So it isn't being in the works for you guys. So absolutely. Now, so with screw machining, very simple, easy to use. And like I said, I got this one kind of already, and I'm going to walk you through it step by step on what I did here, just to kind of save you guys calculation time. The calculation time currently, it does take just a hair bit longer, and that's just because what's doing is it's automatically doing that gouge check for you guys. It's constantly looking at the wall versus the stock versus the target, and kind of depends on, you know, your step overs and all that stuff to get those calculation times. So it does take just a hair bit longer. And like I said, they are in the process of getting things kind of sped up for you guys too. Now, kind of getting a little off subject here, but are any of you guys working with very large parts or parts with a lot of features like holes and whatnot, and you guys are seeing things slow down a little bit? It takes a little bit to open up a file or close down a file or do a synchronize and calculate. I guess kind of throwing this out there, if you guys are, we have a new feature that we've added in there in 17. It is kind of in the testing stages right now. I've been using it for about the last 3 months now. Germany's been using it for about the last 3 months, and it's proved to save quite a bit of time on, you know, the calculation and opening and closing, kind of compressing everything, or just picking geometry in general. For those of you guys that are having that little bit of lag, send me an email and I'll get online, and we have a new option in the settings for this. So definitely want to get that out to you guys. And it will be released, I think, in Service Pack 2 of 17 as a full release, but right now it's just kind of in the beta testing phases, and all it is a registry key that we just turn on for you guys. So, okay, so back kind of where we're at here. So we're going over screw machining here. Right now we're just doing a roughing. So we have a roughing and finishing option right here. Coming real soon, we have different slicing patterns that we can pick from. Currently, like I said, this is grayed out, but we'll have a couple different strategies in here for the slicing patterns for you. The machine surfaces. What surfaces do we want to machine? We can just grab the entire model because everything there is what we want to machine. Now, for instance, let's say we don't want to machine the back half of this area because we might be in a chuck or a vise or, you know, whatever you guys are using to hold this down. So what we have for you is we have the machine limits. So we can set up a distance. Let's say I just want to start from 1, and actually got the setup in my finishing one. But we have, you know, our machining areas. Do we want to go from, you know, the 0 of your coordinate system up to, you know, 250 inches, or, you know, however long you guys want to go? So now what we can do here also is set up angle limits. So if you guys just wanted to work on a specific angle of your portion, you can just set up an angle of just doing from 0 to 180 degrees if you just want to work on a certain portion of it. So you got quite a bit of control of what you guys can do here. Now the tooling setup just as any other operation, so I won't spend much time here. Now what it's going to do is it's automatically going to kind of fill in this area for you, where if you guys were using 5-axis simultaneous, this is still unlocked right here. Basically, it's kind of looking at everything that's going on right there. You do have, if you need to go up and beyond, we do have the air move safety distance, so it's going to kind of go that distance around the cylinder. But since the screw machining kind of knows what it's kind of cutting there, all this is kind of inputted in for you. So this is kind of more of like an advanced automatic feature, specifically for kind of doing these screw parts, or like Ken was talking last week, doing the rotary machining, or coming soon with the doing like a camshaft machining style. So toolpath parameters, not a whole lot in here. We have a cut tolerance, and that's pretty much the same thing through the entire thing. So you can set a tolerance up. You can make that, super tight or kind of super lax. The only real one that we're kind of concerned with here is your step down. So how much do you want to step down per pass, and then your step over. So the step down is, I'll just turn on the toolpath here. Here, let me just get a normal 2 view of this. So our step down is, coming down into the material, and this is obviously kind of more for roughing. And then your step over is going to be your side step, kind of moving over here. So each time we're moving over 7 millimeters currently right now. I think I did forget one thing, the offset. So you guys can set a offset on there. Now this is going to affect, we don't have a floor offset, we don't have a wall offset. It's just going to affect the entire model. So what it's doing is it's looking at the entire model, and then you can offset it. In this particular case, we're offsetting at 0.5 millimeters for our roughing cut. So we can come back and do that finish cut, and put that offset at 0, or make that offset a little bit smaller, and then come back with even a finer tool path for you guys. So, okay, so the surface quality, kind of covered this, step downs, step over. Like I said, scallop is going to be coming in the future here also for you guys. And we can do a percentage of tool diameter too, but just currently we're kind of waiting on Module Works to finish up their fine tuning of things. Now sorting, we can do zigzag or one way, kind of going through. So for this one, we're just do zigzag. Direction for closed cut. So when you get into a closed cut, you can do direction 1. I think they kind of should switch this around, doing a clockwise or counterclockwise, but it's kind of how I have it set up right now. Now on the stock, so like I said, it knows your stock, and it knows your model, so we can set it as stock definition style of we can leave it on automatic stock. We can just select surfaces, or we can do a bounding circle. Bounding circle is just basically a circle that we can do a expansion on, and you can just type a number in there, kind of more of a manual mode. So we'll just leave it on updated stock for right now, and you can actually have a tolerance set up for that. So we can do plus or minus 0.1 millimeter right now. Tool axis control. Now this is there's a lot in here. Hold your breath, don't fall off your chair here. But there's a lot in here, and it's just 4-axis output. So, so we're kind of
question.
Oh, go ahead.
Question here, Kevin. We got where's the circle cover?
Where's the circle cover? For the stock. Oh yeah, so the circle is based off of the center of your circle right here, or I'm sorry, your XYZ origin point right here. So it's going to be all based off of your coordinate system for that particular coordinate system. So if you guys are running, you know, Mach 1, Mach 2, Mach 3, whatever you guys choose for your coordinate system right here is going to be based off of your stock right here. If you're doing that bounding circle, I think, is that what you're asking there, Ronnie? Okay, perfect. So tool axis control, you know, with simultaneous 5-axis, we have all these different inputs, how to shift the tool, all that. This kind of takes out all the guesswork for you, and you know, you don't have to worry about how the tool is rotating. It's all it's automatically kind of figuring it out for you guys. So, and then you can set, you know, if you want a rotary axis instead of around your X axes, you can do, you know, your Y and Z also. So linking, kind of same thing as HSS, as you know, what you guys seen before. You got your links between, it's instead of doing slices, they have groups at the top right here, so we can do, you know, retract rapid distance. We can do a direct blend spline, kind of following the surface, or we can do a retract to feed distance. So a couple different options right there. And same thing, you guys can use a, you know, a ramp in, ramp out for that also. Now, from what I was kind of looking at, even though that we chose a ramp in and ramp out, I'm not seeing any control of what kind of ramp it's using right now. It's just on or off, and I don't have, kind of like when we did simultaneous 5-axis, we had a default lead in, lead out. We don't have that. I'm not, so we got it right here, but I'm not sure if it's pulling from this screen right here for the ramp, or I got to get a little clarification here on this, where it's pulling that ramp from. And I don't know if it's just a ramp that's automatically figured in for the screw machining, but you definitely have the option there to use a ramp in and out. You got your links between slices, not as many as, you know, when we use HSS or morph, or 5-axis simultaneous here, but you got the basic ones that we need, you know, do a direct, you know, doing a blend spline, kind of follow the surface with a spline, and then doing the retracts up, and then between regions. So if you're working from, you know, you had a spiral over here, and then, you know, maybe you had a separate spiral over here, when it goes in between those regions, you guys can have that option on what you want to do there too. Now, one kind of cool thing is when it does do the repositions, you'll see that it's following, you know, the contour kind of going all the way around, you know, rotating as it's going too. So, trying to think here. And then machine control, kind of same thing as what we've been kind of seeing throughout, you know, the simultaneous 5-axis stuff right here, and nothing in the miscellaneous parameters. Let's just do a simulate here. So we got our stock target there, and I need to kick this baby up because it takes a little bit of time to simulate this. So I'm just do every 500 steps and see if this plays through fast enough here. Now, let me kind of turn down the accuracy here. We'll just go 1. Kind of want this to play through fast for you guys, so you can kind of see it. So it's kind of jumping a little bit because I got it turned up to 500. But what it's doing is it's taking those step downs. Now, what it's also taken into a factor of is even where that spiral or the auger, I guess you can say, ends. So even though that, you know, this is specifically designed just for doing the screw machining, it's going to take into factor that, you know, the flat areas too. So it's going to machine those as well. So, and like I said, if we wanted to kind of limit it, just instead of, you know, if we had our chuck right here and we need to limit what's going on there, we can set that distance up too. And I actually set that up in the finishing operation for you. So.
A question here, Kevin.
the tool axis always stay looking towards the center of the rotary axis in screw machine, right? Yep, that's very correct. So it's straight down. So you're really not doing any movement. It's just the rotary doing all the work for you. So tool is constantly going straight down. And if I just kind of pause this here for a second, you can kind of see we're working straight down on that. I wish I could get this to play through really fast, but let me just try changing up something real quick here. Now, let's just trying to give you guys the best view I can here without taking forever. And if I can keep up on my space ball here, oh, it switched on me. I'm going to try to get it so you're looking straight down on it, but can't keep up. But so real easy to use. In the tool path, we're not getting a lot of jumping around, and what it's doing is it's kind of, getting everything roughed out. But once it's in contact with that screw edge, I guess you would say, it stays in contact, and like you kind of see where it loops around up here and just kind of does go back and forth, kind of working your way through. So it works like a 3-axis roughing. However, the main slicing is performed in a cylinder space and not just one direction. So it's just kind of constantly going back and forth. I'll get this to play through here. It should be almost done here. Well, while we're waiting to play this through here, did you like it when for those of you that were in last week's night class, did Ken do a good job teaching it? Very good, perfect. He is an extremely smart man. All right. Sorry about this, guys. It just takes I was going to take this part and actually size it down so the simulation and the calculation time would go much faster. But all right, will this work for tapered augers? Yes, it will. And George, he's asking if this will work for like a tapered auger. Yes, it will. But not for the finishing, because obviously with the finishing with a taper auger, we'll have to, get that head to tilt over and actually use a 5-axis. But for the roughing strategy, absolutely. I kind of prefer using the roughing strategy in here just because it's so simplified, with the tool axis control and all that stuff. But yeah. And definitely great questions, guys. We got to be close here. You guys missed a good discussion that Andrew and I were having right before the meeting started here, talking about trying to get our kids to actually sleep through the night and get out of that baby stage. Unfortunately, Andrew is going to be stuck in that baby stage for a little while.
Yeah, they're not going to invite me to teach a KevCAM class on good parenting decisions or how to sleep through the night, that's for sure. No guest speaking on that.
Let's see. Oh, I got a couple here. Let's see. Maybe increase the depth of the cut. Yeah, that's what I should have done. Ryan is saying just increase my step down for the cut. And I was thinking when I originally did this part, I played it through and it went a little bit faster, but let's see. If the floor surface is conical or irregular, this strategy will work well also. So William, are you kind of talking like if instead of being the shaft being round, it was like a hex stock or like a square stock? Okay. To answer that question, I want to be 100% honest with you. I don't know. I guess I haven't tried it using a square stock or hex stock. With kind of how they built this software, what it's looking at and stuff, I would say yes. Except for, for roughing 100% yes. For finishing, I'm just not sure how it would work. I would assume it would still go around, but it may be more cycle time, just because it's kind of coming in there and doing flats, and it can't do a constant, tool like right now where our tool is constantly staying engaged with the material. We might get a little bit more bouncing around in there. So I guess what we could do is, or one thing we could do is to kind of combat that is, if you're setting up, your stock or your shaft is square, which I 100% see happening, is if we just kind of set up a circle so it roughs it out so all the points would line up of that square around that circle, then we're roughed out, and then we can come back with the finishing. I just, like I said, I would think the tool is going to do quite a bit of bouncing around, versus staying in contact with that material, William. But tell you what, William, shoot me an email on that one, and that way tomorrow I'll dig into it a little bit further for you and let you know how it works with a square stock versus having that round in there. And like I said, I'm 100% sure it's going to work fine with the roughing. It's just when it's finishing on how it's going to work. So. Okay, so this is, we are all roughed out here. So we can see, and it even put the little tapers on there from the design model. So it is looking at the surface NURB, so we're not going off of facet tolerance. It is looking at the surface NURB there. Now it's going to look a little grainy just because I opened up the tolerance here, but you can see our step downs kind of going through, getting everything pretty much all roughed out here for us. So. Okay, so we got, this was something that came up in the past class. There has been has there been any work done on the machine simulation to give the user option to keep the camera normal to the tool or normal to the part? Yes. They added a whole new group of views in the 2017. I kind of had to skim over it just a little bit, but I think I still have, let me just go to the PDF here. Let's see. So you can set it up with a dot on there for a rotation point. Let's see. I know they've added a lot of stuff in here. Let's see, displays pop message. Toolbars. Will be last. trying to find friends shows both values. Tell you what, George, if you could send me an email on that one, let me. I'll definitely dig into that for you and get you an answer on that one. I know with each machine sim is all set up different, on the kinematics of the machine, but I would think that we could get that in there, or if that is one of the things that they've added in there. The what's new, they've added way more than what's new in here, but they kind of wanted to compile it down to something that's going to keep your interest more than anything. So George, if you want to if you have a second, send me an email on that one, and I can get you a 100% answer on that one for you. Okay, any questions or any other questions with the roughing strategy here? Okay, let me exit out of here. Now, basically all I did is just did a save and copy from my original one. And what I did now is I switched over to finishing. Now I just put a little distance in there for a start and end. So, I want to start at, over on the left side, ending on, just doing a -5 millimeters in there. So everything's good there. Same tool. Levels are going to still be the same. The only thing changing up is the step down right here of how far it's going down, so we can get a good finish wall on that. I think these blades are, let's see, so these blades are a little over 1 inch tall in there, so we're going to take it down in 1 millimeter cuts, kind of working our way down. Now you'll notice that my step over is grayed out, and that's only because we're doing a finishing and not a roughing, and that's the only difference kind of going on right there. Sorting, still the same thing, zigzag and doing one direction. The stock we did is just doing the surfaces. So I told it to just kind of look at the surfaces of everything that's going on in there versus just looking at the updated stock. Just as something a little bit different for you guys here. Still have tolerance kind of standing out there. If we wanted to kind of expand things out just a little bit more, we can add that value in there also. That's it for the changes. Tool axis control is going to still be the same. Your linking is all still going to be the same. Basically, we're just kind of coming down with a finish cut after that roughing strategy. So if we just do a simulate here, do a solid verify for you guys. And I must have just switched up something enough to, it wants to update the stock for me. Almost there. Okay. So we got what was left over here. Like I said, this part's fairly large, that's why it's kind of using up a little bit of computer power here. Let's go ahead and play the finishing pass through. And it's starting with that top radii, working its way down. And this one's going to look just a little bit grainier than what it should be, but I'm just trying to get this played through for you guys. And then once this is done playing through, we'll do a stock target comparison. Now, like with the finishing, if you guys want to do, like I said, if you guys want to set up, for the tapered angle, this would be a good time, just instead of using the finishing strategy here, to use the 5-axis. You guys are more than welcome to use the 5-axis if you're just not quite happy with what this is giving you using the 4-axis simultaneous or 5-axis simultaneous here. But it does a pretty good job finishing up, or a really good job finishing up these screws here, or at least the walls of the screws is kind of what we're shooting for here. Okay, how much faster would you guess the updated stock is? Oh, from 16 to 17? I don't, I guess I'd have to kind of test that out a little bit. They've done a lot of work. Are you, Ronnie, are you talking with the new feature that we've just added in there that's in beta? Or just updated stock just in general by itself? Just in general. I haven't actually done a time comparison from what development has told us that they've gone through and sped up quite a few different things. A lot of our operations were using multi-core threading for calculation, but some of the simulation stuff wasn't. And the only hard part is with the Solid Verify, it's a third-party, I guess, add-on that we use, and we don't have a whole lot of control of what we can do and can't do. The host CAD is ours. You know, the machine sim, that's Module Works that we use there. But I can't think of what this the Solid Verify is running off of. But from what I've been told, everything has been sped up in there for updated stock, for saving calculation time, for picking geometry. All that stuff has all been sped up in 17. But to give you hard numbers, I don't have an exact number. If I get time tomorrow, I will definitely do a little time study for you, Ronnie, and tell you, because I know you're kind of on the fence of switching back or forth. Yeah. So, all right. Is the screw machine feature available with the 3D, or do we need multi-axis module? Yes, you will need, Dwight, you will need, it's going to come with, let me just, so while this is finishing here, let me open up my, no. Look at that, maximize here, and I do have, trying to find, I thought I had a shortcut. Give me 1 second here, guys, and I'll tell you. So this one isn't going to have the screw machine because this is just a little bit older. But what you guys, to get this, it would come with your, it's going to come with your, let's see, contour 5-axis, looking for one other one here. It's going to come with, and Dwight, you may have to get with your account manager on this one, but I'm thinking it's going to come with your 5-axis standard package, or your 4-axis standard package. 4 and 5-axis kind of the same thing here. Just because it's so new. It's going to be either, you know, the 5-axis standard or the professional, I guess, where it's going to be thrown in. Professional, for sure, it's going to be there. I was looking for the rotary machining in here, but I am not seeing. Andrew, do you have that, the one with the rotary machining on it?
Is that the new one that they just switched up?
No, it was new last year.
Okay, I think I might have that. Hang on, let me look.
Still finishing up here. Let me try one other thing here. Just gonna see if it's in here.
I'm gonna Skype it to you, Kevin.
Oh, okay.
See if this is the right one.
Let me fire up my Skype real quick. Looking for the one that has all the check boxes.
Yeah, I think I got that one. All right, here we go. Easy own.
All right, let's see. No, this only gives us up to 3D.
Fail.
Dwight, do you know who your account manager is offhand?
I think it's Deneen.
Is it Deneen? Tell you what, Dwight, I will have, I don't want to, here, let me do this.
Steve, let me check real quick for you.
Dwight, just to make sure here, I'm going to pull you up in our system and to see what you have right now. Was Hurley, but yeah, he's no longer here. TPS products. And you just have, so no, for yours, it would not be in there just because you just have indexing currently, Dwight. So to add that, we just need to bump you up to, you can just add, from what I understand, and like I said, you might have to talk to Denny on this one, you guys can add just screw machining, or you guys can go to the 5-axis standard, which is going to come with your multi-axis drilling, contour, you're going to get multi-axis roughing and rotary machining in that portion. So, okay. You guys are getting me all kinds of stumpers here tonight, which is good. But so now you can see we got a finish on the wall. Like I said, it's going to look a little grainy here just because we got the tolerance set pretty high for the visual here. You can see we're up to size here. And, oh, what I did is, let me exit out of here for a second. Come on. Crunching that data away right now. I must have left I got an offset in there. So if I would have had that at 0, we would have finished right up to size right there. And I think it would have been right up to size. Just let me check the radius real quick here. I'm getting an arc length with that ball or that bull nose end mill that we're using. Yeah, we're using a bull nose. So it would have finished right up to size to accommodate that for you. But definitely works great with that on 0. And unfortunately, if I switch this over to 0 and do save and calculate, we'll be waiting just 10 minutes here. And I felt like I've made you guys wait too long already. But definitely we'll finish it up and you'll get a real nice looking finish path for you guys too. So, but for those of you guys that did have questions, definitely send those over to me in email. Because then I can, I know George, you had a question with the Solid Verify, and Ronnie had one, and let's see, we had a couple others. The ones, shoot me over in email and definitely get those answered for you guys. Okay, do you know about some future improvements, for example, one possibly to define start point? So, William, are you talking start point for this particular one, or a start point just for in general? Possibly, let's see. So that was question 1. I'll wait for him to write back here. My chat messaging is messing up here. Okay, the strategy and roughing example. Okay, so yeah, you do have your start point. So that's your axial limit. So we want to start at, instead of, going the entire distance, we can put a start point in there. I think if I do this, no, it won't update. So the only kicker right now is you have to just kind of measure where you want that start point. But absolutely, I will put that in there as a feature request, so we can, instead of doing a start point and end point, what we'll do is we'll just add a button right here. So you can click on that button and then click anywhere on the model that you want to go to. So that's great. 2, possibly do side shift at like rotary machining. Side shift as in, are we talking with the step over? Can you fill me in just a little bit on side shift? And then your third question with the gouge check, since we are working off the, when we grab our geometry, the machine surfaces here, they didn't add the gouge check in there. And the only reason why I see it currently is we're constantly doing the gouge check, but where I can see in your factor is, if you guys had that vise in here and you want to avoid colliding against that vise and stuff like that, that's where we need to add that in there. So like I said, this one is a little bit on the green side, and we're adding a lot of stuff in here, and you can see I can't do my slicing patterns right now, but it is being added in there as we speak. So rotary machining, and let's see, geometry, side shift. Oh, to side shift over. Yeah, I can. We can't do that currently. To answer your question, so he's asking if we can have a side shift so we can push, instead of working on the tip of that bull nose end mill, to work more on the ball side of like a bull nose end mill. I will definitely put those suggestions in, William, and get those added in there for you guys, because like I said, this is all green, so they're taking all your guys' customer input from this and changing up everything they want to see, that you guys want to see. So we had quite a few customers that wanted this, so we've added it in there, and we're just kind of adding to it as we go along and get that feedback from you guys. And I know I said this in the past, but really, we are, our strong point is customer-driven CAM software. So all the feedback and input from you guys, we're definitely implementing that in there. So we'll definitely get that side shift in there for you guys. So, and they should have. Let's look real quick here. Clearance, geometry. Yeah, they have. I'm going to see if we can get those angular limits set in here also. Well, this is just angular instead of a start. I'm going to see if we can get this area kind of carried over into the screw machine for you guys, so we can just actually pick on a point inside there instead of having to manually type that in there. So, but great suggestions, guys, and definitely I'll be taking those right up to development to get those features added in there for you guys. So, and if they're, if you guys are watching this, at a later time, or if the guys are watching the YouTube, send those over to me in email so we can get those put in there. Because like I said, we want this, this is definitely a customer-driven CAM software for sure. So, any other questions, guys? don't see anything coming in here so far. Did I miss anything here? I know tonight was a little bit of a bummer, like I said, just because I wanted to kind of program this one live for you, but I didn't want you to sit around and wait for to do the calculation. Next time, Ronnie, I'll take your advice and do a more of a step down for a simulation. But yeah, that's kind of screw machining in a nutshell for you guys. Kind of covered all the different features that are in here. And what I may do is once we, implement, especially William, your ideas and some of your guys' other ideas in here, I think what I'll do is just do a quick kind of an update video. We won't do a night class on it, but I'll just do a quick update video on what they changed, and I'll keep monitoring this through the development page of what they're changing in here. So definitely you'll see a video coming in the future with those changes in there for you guys. So all right, I've seen something else pop up here at the bottom. I feel bad, we program like we machine, not for a demo. Let's see, I feel bad, we program like we machine. Stop reading. Okay. No, I guess if that's it, guys. Andrea, do you have anything else you can add in there?
No, no, I'm good. I'm laughing at the last note. Yeah, that's like just reminded me of like Anchorman. Like you just put whatever on the prompter and Kevin will say it. So remember that, guys. Next time, just type whatever in. He's gonna read it without. Oh, I shouldn't have said that out loud. But no, I got nothing. Thanks for stepping in, guys.
Yeah, absolutely, guys, and thanks for all your guys' comments and suggestions and ideas. Definitely, we're gonna be taking those in and adding those in there. And like I said, I want this class to be as lax and laid back as possible. So definitely shoot those over to me. It's great reading the comments that come through. But and like I said, thanks for sitting through the class. I know we got quite a few attendees in here tonight. And as long as we keep getting some decent attendance, we'll keep these classes going for you guys too. And like I said, I think let's just kind of take a peek at what the schedule looks like real quick. Get this over here, and we'll pull up our agenda here. So next week, doing port machining, and the week after that, let me just ask you guys real quick, is this going to be a conflict for a lot of you guys doing a night class on Halloween? Yeah, we'll add some scary stuff in there for you. Okay, so I don't see anybody saying. Okay, so we'll keep going forward. When I actually did this class, I was planning so far ahead I didn't even think that October 31st is Halloween. So, but yeah, so we'll do port machining next week, and then the week after that we'll get into multi-blade machining, and then we are going to take a complete flip-flop and get over to the turning side of things. So you guys get into the turning side of things too. I may take, maybe after multi-blade, I got a lot of great suggestions for you guys. May take just, I know we had a lot of people that wanted to go through every little, operation inside SolidCAM, so that's what we're kind of covering now, but we may take just a short break in here and kind of cover a lot of the suggestions that you guys sent over also too. So we'll kind of play that one by ear, but you guys will see these pop up, or I think you guys get the email notifications too. But any questions, concerns that come up along the way, guys, I can't stress enough, shoot me an email or give me a call on the support line, and we'll get those questions answered for you right away. So, but thanks again for sticking through the night class tonight, and thanks again for all the great comments and suggestions in there, and definitely we'll get those implemented for you guys. And with that being said, have a wonderful night, and some of you I'll talk to you tomorrow, and some I'll talk to you guys next Tuesday night. All right, guys, have a wonderful night. Thanks again for for the great comments, and we'll talk to you tomorrow or next Tuesday. All right, guys. Have a good night.
Thanks, guys. See you.